Hello everybody and welcome to my journey to Islam. My name's Samantha or Syra. I answer to both, I like both. Samantha is my born given name and Syra is my Islamic name, so which I chose for myself, and I chose Syra because my first encounter with Islam ever was when I went to school with a girl called Syra and she was Muslim. So that's why I chose Syra, because I feel like that was the very start of my journey. So just a little bit of background about me. I'm 32, soon to be 33 in February, inshallah. My journey of Islam is quite a long one, so I won't get into loads and loads of detail. But to give you a rough idea, my mum and dad are atheist. They don't believe in God. I don't have any family members that believe in God or have believed in God. So I've never been in that kind of environment. I went to a very multicultural school with Sikhs, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Catholics from all over the world. Bosnia, France, so I've always been kind of exposed to lots of cultures, and I grew up with a predominantly Sikh family. They were friends of mine, but I was with them a lot, obviously, when I was young. So I've always been very open-minded about religion and culture, and because I live in the UK, I live in a place called Leicester. There's lots and lots of different cultures here. It's actually celebrated here that there are lots of different cultures and religions and faiths. So I am really lucky in that aspect. So a little bit about my journey. In 2014, I was in town and I saw a man with a Quran, a brother with a Quran, and he was talking about Islam and what Islam was about. And back then I didn't really understand being a Muslim or Islam, or I just, like every person, well, not every person, but lots of people, they just go on what the media said. So I thought, I'm going to have an argument with him today. That's the mood that I was in. So I just kind of went up to him and I was like, but what about you blowing people up? What about what's happening in Syria? What about what's happening in Gaza? What about, what's going on, in the communities where men are beating their women? And why do we have to walk 5 steps behind? And please, Allah forgive me for my stupidness. That's all I could do, is just ask for forgiveness for my stupidness. Anyway, so he received me with kindness and love, and he was very, very understanding, and he answered my questions. And once I left him, I thought, I'm ridiculous. I'm really, really blind. So I went home and started talking with my then boyfriend, who is now my husband, about Islam and about Muslims, and he was already very open-minded about these things, and I just felt like I needed to kind of catch him up. So I did start doing loads of research. I started reading the Quran. I started getting interested in Islam, and then I don't really know what happened. I just kind of, life got in the way, and me and my husband got married, and I don't know, it just kind of slipped away. There was a point where I actually was bombarding one of my Islamic friends with loads of questions about being a Muslim and Islam and what's what, to the point where I actually just had to block them on Facebook and on all of my social media and on my phone, because every time they were talking to me, I realised that it was the truth, and it was almost like I was scared. I got cold feet and ran away. But mashallah, I came back to it because all my life, without even really realising, I've had loads of signs, loads and loads of signs from God, loads of things that keep bringing me back. I could go through all the stories that I've ever had of where I've had a kind of relationship with God, or I've had some kind of sign or something's happened. But I'll save that for another video because I'd like to share that with you. So yeah, me and my husband, we had a baby, and I was starting to question kind of my existence and starting to feel really down about the fact that we just die and we're dead and that's it. And then I started thinking about the Big Bang and the fact that it is a theory. So they're saying that religion is a theory, well, so is the Big Bang. And I started kind of reading loads of stuff about the pyramids and Gaza and what's going on in the media, and I really sunk my teeth into it. Previously, I've been a Buddhist. I've related myself to Buddhism, and I've been meditating, kind of done that for 2 years. I've been amongst Jews, that didn't make sense. Buddhism didn't make sense. I've been among Hindu Sikhs, that didn't make sense. I've been among Mormons, that didn't make sense. But when I actually came to Islam and started reading about it, because of the scientific facts that it holds and because of the things that they say, I can relate to it, you know, the kindness, the love, the fact that women are very highly regarded, the fact that you have to take Allah as your God. It means God, Allah means God. So I just really loved it. I loved everything about it, and I started to get engrossed in it. And the more I prayed to Allah, asking him, please show me a sign, please show me a sign, he started showing me all these signs. I said to him, please Allah, show me who my friends are. I've lost about 20 friends now, and this is probably within a month. You know, I've always been a very popular girl, had lots of friends, and you really find out who your friends are when you start wearing hijab. Let me just tell you that. When you start wearing hijab, that's it. People think that I woke up one morning and was like, I'm Muslim. It didn't work like that. I've been researching it for years. Like 2014 was my first encounter with proper, you know, Islam. So, you know, I kept asking God. And what happened was, once me and my friend, male friend of mine, we were having a discussion about, in my front room, about Islam and what's the thing with Islam, okay? Because Westerners, we are very ignorant to these things, and we do watch a lot of things that are in the media, and we don't actually go out in the store, we don't go to the mosque, we don't speak to Muslims because we're scared. But there's nothing to be scared of at all. Like, just talk to them. When you see the Muslim lady walking down the street in hijab, just talk to her. She will talk to you. I'm sure she will talk to you. Sometimes there's cultural differences, but, you know, don't be afraid to go to the Islamic Centre. Most places have got an Islamic Centre that you can go to and find out information, okay? So I'm not getting all preachy. But anyway, we're having this discussion in my front room when he said to me, you know, I don't believe in religion and I'll never ever be a Muslim because of X, Y, Z. And I said, well, look, let's just put it this way. Let's just say that there's no God and that it doesn't exist and it's all a load of nonsense. Okay, that's fair enough. There's nothing wrong with being a Muslim because they preach love, they preach kindness, they preach modesty, they preach being with your family. So what's bad about that? So even if you did follow it, and even if you did follow Islam, that can only be a beautiful thing. And he was kind of like, yeah, but, you know, you have to do all these rules and all these regulations. I was like, yeah, but they're not like rules and regulations to the point that you can't do. Why do you have to pray 5 times a day? Well, because you have to meditate. You have to pray to Allah and take him as your God. But it's also a time for reflection and meditation for yourself. It calms you, it centers you. And there's a reason for everything in Islam. It's not just like, oh, just because it's trying to dictate or it's trying to rule. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. And the strangest thing is, and I've told this story a few times, is that in that moment while we were having that discussion about praying, actually, oh, I can't believe it. It's still to this day, it gives me goosebumps. A leaflet came through the door, and on it said, what do you know about Islam? I was like, I was like, it's a sign, it's a sign, it's a sign. And he was gobsmacked. He didn't know what to say. I was like, take this leaflet home and go on the internet and research. I'm asking you to go away and look at it. That's the sign. I don't need any more signs. And then literally a week later, it was Christmas, and then a week after Christmas, I was like, I'm taking Allah as my God, you know, and I'm going to be merciful for him. And that's what I did. And then I went out into my community. I went to a centre. I started talking to Muslims. You know, I went on this journey, and I feel amazing. I feel so amazing. And you cannot understand the things that I've been through in my life. I've suffered from depression, anxiety. I've tried to kill myself several times. I kept praying to God, please help me, please help me. And now God has helped me. I feel so lucky, I cannot tell you. The friends that I am making, the people that I am seeing. Don't get me wrong, it's hard. Like, you know, wearing hijab definitely is it's, you know, it's a learning curve, but it's a beautiful process. And I just want people to know, okay, that if you're thinking of becoming Islamic, or you're thinking about learning about becoming a Muslim and what it means, go for it. Just go for it. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared of what people say to you. Speak to other Muslims. You will find that you are a community of brothers and sisters. So many people have come forward with kindness to me that I can't even, it's too many to list, you know, I'm putting them all in my prayers, and I just feel this is the way for me. There is no other way. This is the way for me. This is the true path. The other difficult thing is telling my parents. I've not told my parents yet. That's something that I'm kind of in discussions with my husband about. So I'll let you know how that goes in an updated video. I will talk to you as well about my signs that I had from God, because I think that's really important. And the other thing is that my husband's not a Muslim. I know in some cultures they frown upon that. I keep praying for him. You know, he's very open-minded. He's with me, standing by my side. I just hope that Allah, you know, mashallah, that he will succumb and he will realise. I just keep praying, and, you know, I know some cultures don't like it that he's not a Muslim, but it's not my choice to make. He has to make it himself. He has to have the calling, or he has to know. You know, it's not something that I can say, you will be a Muslim, because that's not right for me, and that's not the Muslim way. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I will do a video about, like I say, when I've had signs from God, and also how it goes with my parents. Yeah, so I'm working in the community now. I'm going to be doing lots of work with the Muslim community, and also hopefully, inshallah, starting up a group of converts. So if you've recently converted to Islam and you've been a bit lost, especially if you're white British or white, or come from a completely different culture, you don't even have to be white per se, but I want to start up something so we can have a support group. So that's about it. Let me show you my son and my husband. He was a day old there. That's my husband and my little boy, Aina. Blessings be upon them, and blessings be upon all of you and all of your families. And thank you for watching my video.